Welcome to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity. And with me, as always, you're supposed to introduce yourself.
I'm sorry, I'm choking. Hi, I'm Andrew. Wait, why the fuck did I say it like that? You know who I am.
And today we're talking about paladins.
Just stand up in front of the class. Hi, my name is Andrew. I like to play Dungeons and Dragons, and when I grow up, I want to feel.
Andrew is for all of our millions and millions of listeners.
Just play the music.
So, Andrew.
Yo.
Today we're talking about my favorite class, or one of my favorite classes. The Paladin.
The Paladin?
The Paladin.
It's the friendliest class in the game.
It is.
The word pal in it.
Aha! Oh, God. That was really bad.
All right, cut that.
Now, how long were you ready to use that one? Just wondering.
I was not.
Yes, you were. Don't even think about it.
Yes, I was.
You wrote it down. All right. So, Andrew.
Yes.
What do you know about paladins?
Oh, what do I know about paladins?
Oh, wait, before you get going, though.
Oh, okay.
We need to talk about our beverage of choice for today. Now, we heard from certain people that we tend to talk too much about our beers. And by us, I mean Andrew.
Bullshit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a brief discussion about the history of beer.
Oh, no.
While I open mine up. So
what are you drinking today?
Oh, no.
Oh, God. What are you doing?
It was pouring over.
What an amateur. What are you drinking today, Andrew?
I've got myself a good old-fashioned Boddington. Boddington.
Yes.
But God, the frick! As much as I love it, the little like pour thing makes it like foam over super quick.
I mean, if you don't know how to pour it, yeah.
No. I'm talking like from the can. Like you have to open the can and immediately pour into a cup. Or glass or chalice. I'm actually drinking from a chalice today, which is
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's thematic.
I'm drinking straight from the bottle because I'm a peasant.
I'm drinking straight from the bottle because I'm an alcoholic.
I'm drinking a Leffe.
A what?
A Leffe. A Leffe. Leffe. Leffe.
Leffe.
Leffe.
Leffy.
Leffy. Leffe.
Leffe. Anton LaVey. No, that's somebody else. Oh, yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I had it before in the show. It's a Belgian ale. It's a blonde. Subtle sweetness accentuated with aromas of vanilla and cloves.
It's year round, which means any fucking normie can get this beer, which makes it not special.
Yeah, I wasn't going for a special today because we're talking about paladins.
But paladins are special.
Exactly. I want more time on the paladins and less on the beer, Andrew. We talked about this.
That's true. I actually told Jose we're gonna have to keep the beer chatter brief because I want to talk about paladins. So let's get on it.
Okay, Grandpa.
All right.
Tell us about the history.
Look, just because I'm actually interested in this crap, so
I'm interested too. It's,
just not as much. Hold on, wait. First, let me get my first sip in.
You haven't even drank your beer. Oh my God, this is why it takes so long.
Sorry, I know. I was waiting for like the head to settle. Okay. So the history of paladins is actually at first I thought it was kind of like but then when I read further into it, it's actually to me pretty fascinating. So the word paladin stems from an old French word mean Pelasian, or there's another theory that it came from a Latin word mean palatinus. Both of these words mean translated of the palace. Now, what that meant was that this was mainly used in the court of Charlemagne. It was his trusted knights, like his king's guard kind of a thing. And for the longest time, that's what paladins were. They were like the king's guard. They were, the ones closest to the king, kind of a deal. And it wasn't really until the legends of like King Arthur came around that what we perceive as paladins kind of shifted. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into Arthurian myth because it's a huge rabbit hole.
Oh man, we should do an episode about that because it's amazing.
We really should, because it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the long and short of it is that the origins is kind of lost in time. Like, no one really knows where exactly it starts, so there's a lot of theories and interpretations of it because of that. But the one of the most common interpretations, besides the Lady of the Lake, Merlin, Sword and Stone one that everyone knows and loves, is the one where King Arthur and his, particularly Knights of the Round Table, they didn't get their abilities from like pagan magic, like wizardry and stuff like that. They were instead bestowed their abilities by God through their oaths, like oaths of actual devotion. I would say probably the most popular interpretation of this is the book of The Once and Future King, where the Knights of the Round Table can perform actual miracles due to their oaths. Like, I believe it's either Galahad or Lancelot. I forget which one, but he can like actually do lay on hands and cure you of like leprosy or blindness or whatever.
Oh, really? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, and this was this was like in the early ages of Catholicism, which it was a pretty common practice for them to take like folklore and kind of skew it towards a more Christian thing, as kind of a means, as like a tactic to convert more people. So the idea behind it was that King Arthur and his men, as long as they, kept their devotion and their oaths and like their chastity and whatnot to God, they were able to maintain their influence and powers and stuff like that. And that's why like King Arthur, well, in that interpretation, that's why King Arthur was like undefeated in combat, and that's why Lancelot was like the greatest knight in all of the land and stuff like that. And so that kind of permanently shifted the idea or the word paladin to meaning like the King's Guard to now a knight of God. And from then on, it's kind of stayed that way. And they used that interpretation of Arthurian myth plus a book called Three Hearts and Three Lions, which I've never read, but I've always heard good things about. They used those influences from that to create the Paladin class in Dungeons and Dragons. Now, the Paladin was introduced in Dungeons and Dragons in the first supplement for the original Dungeons and Dragons, the Greyhawk supplement, right alongside the Rogue, or as it was then called, the Thief class. And unlike any of the other classes that came after that, it was not a prestige class. It was just straight out the gate, hey, you want to be a Paladin? You can be a Paladin. And a really neat thing about it was that for the first 3 editions of D&D, if you were going to be a Paladin, you had to be lawful good. That was a requirement. You have to stay on the straight and narrow. You were like God's chosen. Like you were,
What would happen? What would happen if
it wasn't until 4th edition that they broke that? And this is like 30 years of tradition that they're like, you know what? There's no alignment requirements. Which I'm not sure if that caused a big controversy or not, because I know in 3.5 alignment requirements were a huge deal. We might have to do an episode on that, or just alignment in general. But 4th edition and subsequently 5th edition, they kind of did away with the alignment requirements for that, and because of that, they made a lot of leeway for I believe a lot of leeway for creativity. And here we are.
So what would happen in like 3.5 if you would break your alignment?
So in 3.5, like I said, you had to stay lawful good, and it was kind of up to the DM's discretion, like what lawful good was. And so if you broke out of that alignment, you would lose your powers. Like you would there was actually something I believe it was called like a fallen paladin. In 5e it's called Oathbreaker. I'm not sure what it was called in 4th edition, but I think it was either called a fallen paladin or a lost paladin. But essentially what it was that you just became like a fighter that wasn't as good as fighting, because like your fighting ability is supplemented by like your holy powers and stuff like that. So if you lost your powers, obviously you can go on like a quest for redemption. You can try to, get your abilities back, but yeah, it was difficult. Depending on your DM, naturally, it was difficult.
And then in 5th edition, they just have a straight up half orc being a paladin,
right,
on the book.
well, in fifth edition, like I said, they did away with the alignment requirements, but you still had to keep your oaths,
right?
I think this makes the paladin one of the more, if not one of the most fascinating classes in 5e in those kind of terms, because it's like, if you're like a swashbuckler rogue, that's just who you are. If you're a Kensei monk, that's just who you are. If you're a Circle of the Landru, that's just who you are. However, if you stray from this path as a paladin, you stop becoming that kind of paladin, and you actually can lose your powers.
Right.
And it says it in the PHB that if you stray from your oaths and you don't seek redemption, like that's it. Like you're gonna lose them, and you might have to become the Oathbreaker paladin that's in the Dungeon Master's Guide, which is like a secret class. Yeah, I just think that if it's pretty important to kind of as with any class, you're gonna have to communicate with your DM when you're playing it, and just like kind of like let them know like, hey, how like how stern are you going to be on these oaths, kind of a thing. Because if I was playing a paladin, like if you were running a game, I was playing a paladin, I would kind of want you to keep me against that. Like I want you to hold me against that. Like, the oath of devotion is I'm supposed to be honest and courageous and stuff like that. Like I want you to hold on to that. So if I start lying and I start acting all like cowardly and stuff like that, like, hey, you're kind of getting off the path there, so like, and it's just kind of like sort of keep you in check, so I mean we'll get into the oaths later, because that's their subclasses, but definitely a lot of potential in terms of just sort of baked in like character arc.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's always been one of my favorite classes. If I always,
it's also really fucking strong.
Yeah, you can hit things pretty harshly, and depending on the oath you take, which for me is mainly being the vengeance. But I've never gotten past level 5.
Oh man, some of these oaths get like real crazy later on. Yeah, we'll definitely have to get into that. So I actually did a little bit of studying, because I wanted to know, well, obviously, because when we went over the in the classes episode, when we were talking about the different classes, we kind of said that paladins were invincible, like nothing can stop them. And actually, that's not true. I came upon 2 different weaknesses that a paladin has. And one's pretty glaring, and the other one is kind of more of like you can kind of work around it if you want to.
That's for me.
No. Actually, kind of hear me out on this. So, why does it say I'm idled? Whatever. Discord's like, hey, you're not the computer. I'm like, yeah, I am. So, the first big one, paladins have like no range game.
Nope.
Like at all. Yeah, paladins have like no range game at all. They do start with, do they get javelins? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have javelins and stuff like that, and you might have like a heavy crossbow or something like that. But because dexterity is going to be probably your dump stat for a paladin, you're not going to have any sort of ranged abilities whatsoever, because almost all of your spells are either touch or AoE, or on a melee hit. So if you're playing with a DM that is thinking tactically, and they just have like a really well placed archer or like a wizard that has like a lot of range spells, that's gonna do some serious damage to the paladin. The second biggest one is due to their fighting style. They're not really that great in a crowd. They're excellent at one-on-one combat, but when it comes to like being like mobbed, they're really not that great.
Yeah.
And that's more for like the earlier levels. Like later on, they kind of get some more stuff. But if you're like a 1 through 5 paladin and you get mobbed, like you're gonna have a real rough time with that. So
I don't see that as a weakness.
I really don't see that as a weakness.
A lot of classes have that though.
I kind of see that more as like a more as like a balancing kind of a thing, where you're gonna have like in an ideal situation, you're gonna have like the fighter taking on some people, the wizard in the back launching spells, and the ranger kind of laying down suppressing fire. And so that allows the paladin to just focus on the big bad guy. Like he's going to go in, he's going to rush the boss.
All right, Andrew. So let's just jump straight into the PHP paladin.
Yeah. We went over the weaknesses. So let's talk about what makes the paladin great.
Everything else.
Pretty much.
So we start with strength, and then charisma, and that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah. It says strength should be your highest ability score, which every time I hear that, yes. and then followed by charisma, which because charisma is its spellcasting
ability.
spellcasting ability and modifier, which means it's also going to have great potential in role playing. Right,
exactly. Which makes sense because they're like the knight in shiny armor, and most people are going to listen to them anyway. So
yeah, this is the it's kind of like what you said. It's like Superman, but he's wearing armor and kind of that kind of a thing.
It's a medieval Superman.
Yeah, I mean, a crusader would also be accurate, but that's based on certain subclasses rather than others. So, right. Yeah.
So what do we get at level 1? We start with divine sense.
Yeah. So,
which all this bad boy is that you can essentially sense celestials and fiend and or undead within 60 feet of you. That is not in total cover.
Yeah, and you can't tell exactly what it is. You could just say like, "Hey, this is an undead."
Right.
Can you read the part where it says, "but not its identity"?
Yeah, total cover. The type celestial, fiend, and undead of any being whose presence you sense, but not its identity. The vampire Count Strahd von Zarovich, for instance. Wow.
Yeah. And another kind of a lesser detail is that you can tell if the ground you're stepping on is consecrated or desecrated. Which
what is the difference between those two?
That's actually a really good question. I know consecrated. I think consecrated means that like undead can't walk on there, but I think desecrated means. Oh, what does that mean?
It has been turned by. It has been.
That's actually something that's going to be. That's going to be something that's in the Dungeon Master's guide, which is why I don't know what it is because nobody reads it.
Yeah, who reads that? Why would you need that?
Well, the Dungeon Master's guide. It's not. It says it's a guide, but it's actually more of like an idea kind of a thing.
Pretty much.
And that's not bad. It's actually something I can really respect. But it's pretty much that, and also like treasure. Desecrated ground. Some cemeteries and catacombs are imbued with unseen traces of ancient evil. An area of desecrated ground can be of any size and is detect evil and good, blah, blah, blah. Undead standing on desecrated grounds have advantage on all saving throws. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Which means if it's desecrated ground, like the cleric's going to have a harder time turning undead and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
also at level 1, you get lay on hands, which is slight healing for everybody.
Well, for the paladin, it's probably going to be like its main form of healing because, yeah, it does get the cure wound spell, but that's going to be like more of like a last minute situation kind of a deal.
For sure, which is it's paladin level times 5, right?
Huh?
Paladin level times 5.
Yes,
that's the pool. That's how many points you have.
Yep. Or you can use 5 of those hit points to cure a disease or neutralize a poison. So it's literally like, hey, you have leprosy. Aha, get up.
You can now see.
Like you could be like this televangelist that like heal people, but you can actually do it.
In game, yeah. Don't try it in real life.
And heal.
Then at level 2, you get to pick your fighting style.
And I think, is this the only class that has the protection fighting style?
I think fighter has protection fighting style.
Because I saw
that too, and it stood out to me. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it does. The fighter does have the protection fighting. Well, naturally, the fighter will have every single fighting style in the game. Come on, Andrew.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's really neat that naturally the paladin's not going to have 2 weapon fighting because why would it? It's really great with a single weapon or a shield.
Yeah.
I always see the paladin being really good with a great sword. That always seems to be like the go-to weapon for me for a paladin. For some reason,
same seas.
Yeah, great sword for a paladin, great axe for a barbarian. If you switch the 2, it's like a weird juxtaposition. It's exactly like it grinds my gears. And
it's just drunk to look at. Like no.
No, because exactly, it's like a man of God would not be wielding a great axe. That's
a filthy weapon.
That's
a pure.
That's a fucking heretic weapon right there. God, we're gonna get into heretic later.
And then at level 2, you'll get spellcasting. Andrew, you want to go over that?
Wait, you don't get spellcasting until level 2?
Yep.
What? I didn't know that.
What? Really?
Yeah, I thought they got spellcasting like right off the bat. Wow. So it's like the first level you're like, I'm a slightly tankier fighter.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why you thought that you get spellcasting at level 1 because of lay of hands, but no, you get it at level 2.
Well, I mean that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
I mean I don't know. It's weird. It just seems weird to me because
this is not level 3.
That's true. Because I mean it's not like a full blown spellcaster, but it is like more reliant on its spellcasting than like say like. I mean, once we get into smites, it will be.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, their main thing is channel divinity, but like spellcasting, I always thought like a secondary thing for them. Obviously,
I mean, it might be like a split, like probably like 60-40 more channel divinity,
right?
But I mean, there's so much they can do offensively using their spell slots. So I always thought that. Anyways.
And also level 2, you get Divine Smite, which is their bread and butter.
Which is the attack for... Yeah. Okay, so rogues have sneak attack. These guys have Divine Smite.
Yep.
And the one thing I really like about... There's 2 things I really liked about Divine Smite. One is if you're hitting an undead or a fiend, first of all, normal Divine Smite does 2d8 radiant damage. And then that's using a spell slot, and it's an extra d8 for every spell slot higher than 1.
Right.
If you're targeting an undead or a fiend, they get an extra d8 of damage.
Hell yeah, dude.
Ouch. But what I think is really neat about it is that it says, per the text, when you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can then expend 1 spell slot. So it's not like the wizard where it's like, I'm going to cast... and
then you miss.
Like, no, I was going to say Magic Missile, but Magic Missile never misses. I was going to cast Scorching Ray. Oh, but you rolled poorly, but you still burn up that spell slot.
Right.
I don't know.
Yep.
You wait until you hit, and then you smack them with the Divine Smite.
Yep.
So...
Which is great.
It's just like it's just like the extra like added oomph to that attack. Like, have you ever played Final Fantasy VIII?
No, actually, I haven't played 8. No, I played 9, 10. I played 9 and 10. I said no. Hello?
Okay, so Final Fantasy VIII, it has a thing because like for whatever reason the weapons were like gun swords kind of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a little mechanic that they kind of didn't really go over, but they sort of did, where if you hit with an attack and you press the R1 button, it pulls the trigger on the gun and it gives like a little bit of extra oomph.
Yes.
so that's what it's always seemed like to me. It's like okay, now I hit him, and then you just fucking lay him out with the Divine Smite. I always saw it as being like a really explosive effect. Like, right. You know, the sword hits, it's like, oh, it's not so bad, and then the Divine Smite comes and
yep, it's just very bright, very violent. Listen to my God.
It's so beautiful,
but it hurts. Also, like I mean, 2d8 at level 2.
Yeah, 2d8 potentially 3d8 at level 2 is holy crap.
Yeah, like I can use it twice, but I mean, still though. Oof.
And here's another neat thing. It says it has to be with a melee weapon attack. That's fine. That means you can't have like an explosive arrow. Sorry.
Wow.
But it didn't say it has to be with a weapon that you're proficient with. So you could use an improvised weapon.
Smack somebody with a chair.
I have heard stories of like a paladin being disarmed. And they asked the DM like, "Hey, do my gauntlets count as weapons?" And the DM's like, "Yeah, sure, okay. I'm just gonna punch him with my Divine Smite." or they pick up a brick and they use that for their Divine Smite. It's like 1d4 damage, but that's not where the damage output's gonna be. Yeah. So it's like, even if you disarm a paladin, they're not fully disarmed.
That's true.
Like, they could pick up a goblin if they really wanted to.
They had the power of God and anime on their side.
I'm not making that screaming noise that kid does in the video.
Right, and then at level 3 you get divine health,
which makes you immune to all disease.
All diseases.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're good.
All right, I mean.
That's
literally that's literally all it says in the text.
Yeah,
like, by third level, divine magic flowing through you makes you immune to disease. All right, moving on.
Then you pick your sacred oath at level 3 also. We'll go over those in a little bit. Then level 4, ability score improvement, which is pretty standard. Then level 5, extra attack, pretty standard. And level 6 is an aura of protection. Every creature within 10 feet of you gain a bonus to the roll equal to your charisma modifier.
Which by 6th level is probably going to be, I want to say like at least a +3, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's safe to say.
Another thing I wanted to talk about. Weirdly enough, it seems like the best race for a paladin is a dragonborn.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's actually, I mean, that's just...
Or a tiefling. I know you hate tieflings, but...
Well, no, I mean, because they don't get anything to strength. That's the thing.
Right.
Because, like, dragonborns get 2 to strength and 1 to charisma, whereas a tiefling... Well, I mean, they get 2 to charisma, so, I mean, you can kind of... It's not going to be optimized, obviously, but
Why are you min-maxing, bro?
Yeah, I was about to say, who gives a crap about min-maxing? It's all about having fun.
Exactly. And then at level 10, Aura of Courage. Which your creature within 10 feet of you cannot be frightened.
At all.
So,
and then at 18th level, that range increases to 30 feet.
Yep. And then at level 11, improved divine smite, you automatically have an extra 1d8.
I saw that. I was like, okay, fine.
Like, dang.
All your attacks do divine smite now.
All of them.
Regardless.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's not full divine smite. It's not a 2d8, but it is a 1d8 radiant damage.
Which, I mean, what's the damage? What's the damage on
the monster you're gonna fight is, even if you do 1 radiant damage, that's still gonna like be a big thorn in its side, because there's a lot of monsters, particularly undead or fiend, that have like a regeneration property.
Yeah.
And it says at the end of the regeneration, well, they're hit with a radiant damage, they don't get this quality for their next round. So it's like, even if it's like one little like radiant damage, it's still like, nope, there's that 10 temporary hit points I was supposed to get. Like that's it, down the drain. So
what's the damage on a great sword?
Damage on a great sword is 2d6.
So 2d6 plus 1d8 just automatically, always, forever.
Always and forever. Yeah. At 11th level, which depending on your strength scores, might be a +3, +4 by this point, depending on your build.
Probably +4.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on if you're going to go straight for strength. You might want to pump up charisma. It depends. But yeah, so 2d6 plus 1d8 plus 3 or 4.
And then at level 14, you get cleansing touch. Which, all it is that you can just end a spell.
Yep.
Just
hey, Tasha said his laughter. I got you. Heal. Just like tap him on the forehead.
No, just don't laugh.
You can use your action in one spell. Any spell? Any spell?
Any one spell.
So if it's like entanglement, does that work?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, hold on a second.
Now, do you see what I see?
A child?
There's a spell on yourself or on a willing creature that you can touch.
I can see this being really thematic to use for like, not Cloud of Daggers, Crown of Madness, because they're like actually possessed by something. Right. But like, would like polymorph count?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if it's on you or somebody else that you can touch, yeah.
That's actually super cool to think about. Like,
and it's at level 14, so that's pretty useful at that level.
Well, yeah, because there are some nasty spells that's going to be thrown at you, like Phantasmal Killer, where it's like it generates like your worst fear and it's like attacking you. But no, I almost said cleric. The paladin can be like, nope, just gonna use my divine magic to just like, it's literally like banishing it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like get out, demon.
There's an exorcism.
The power of Helm compels you. Oh, is it really compelling? It doesn't really feel that compelling, does it?
But yeah, that's all you get for the base Paladin. It ends at level 14. And then we move on to the Sacred Oaths.
Right. Yeah, the Paladin is really... It's not reliant on their oaths, but it is a lot more heavily flavored depending on their oaths.
Right. So they all vary a lot. So
yeah.
The first one down. The first one is Oath of Devotion.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to read that flavor text?
Go for it.
Okay. The Oath of Devotion binds the paladin to the loftiest ideals of justice, virtue, and order. Sometimes called cavaliers, white knights, or holy warriors, these paladins meet the ideal of the knight in the shining armor, acting with honor in pursuit of justice and the greater good. They hold themselves to the highest standards of conduct, and some, for better or worse, hold the rest of the world to the same standards. Many who swear this oath are devoted to the gods of law and good and use their gods' tenets as the measures of their devotion. They hold angels, the perfect servants of good, as their ideals, and incorporate images of angelic wings into their helmets or coats of arms. So,
badass.
For anyone that has started playing at 5e, this was Paladins for the longest time.
Oh, that was it?
This was it. Like, this was a lawful good Paladin. So, yeah, this was what you had to be. So, So I really appreciate them kind of bringing it back because like it's not completely gone. They didn't completely do away with a like lawful good kind of thing.
They have the tenets though.
Yeah.
So it's something to guide yourself by. You don't have to like, you know.
Yeah, and this is something like I said before. If I was a DM and the player was okay with it, I would hold them to these tenets. You know, because and it's so weird that the Paladin is the only class I can think of that can lose its powers in such a way.
Maybe the Warlock? Oh wait, no, not in this way.
No, well, I mean, kids, yeah, because Warlock it kind of hand waves it away, saying like, "Oh, what you want or what your patron wants or needs are kind of outside your like realm of understanding, sort of a thing." You know, it kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, you can keep your powers, but I've never in like any of the editions, I've never heard of any of the classes saying, "Hey, if you don't, you don't hold on to this, like that's it. Your class is going bye-bye."
Yeah, exactly. So let's go over the tenets for the Oath of Devotion.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go down it and then we can talk about it. So the first one is honesty. Don't lie or cheat. Let your words be your promise. Courage. Never fear to act, though caution is wise. Oh, that's a little loophole there. Compassion.
Well, I think that was trying to say there's a difference between lawful good and lawful stupid.
Right.
So
yeah, compassion. Aid others, protect the weak, and punish those who threaten them. And then honor. Treat others with fairness and let your honorable deeds be an example to them. And then duty.
Hold on. You missed a part in compassion where it says, "Show mercy to your foes, but temper it with wisdom."
Right.
So.
And then for honor, then duty, be responsible for your actions and their consequences. Protect those entrusted to your care and obey those who have. So this is pretty much a very good guideline on how to role play the character.
I would honestly say when you're role playing a paladin, the oaths or your tenets of your oaths come first, and whatever like your flaws and characteristics and stuff, that's going to be secondary.
Right. So let me. Go ahead.
No, well, I mean, what I was just going to say, because it sort of says in the PHB that's like, if you're playing as a paladin, you're playing as someone who is either raised to become a paladin, which I'm kind of uncomfortable with because that sounds like indoctrination to me, or you kind of like shirked your previous life and you became a paladin, which to me invokes the idea that you were like a knight on the battlefield or something like that, and things were going really bad, and it became that there's no atheist in a foxhole situation.
Yeah.
And you're like, please, dear God, help me out. And God's like, okay, boom, here's divine smite. So
that's actually a pretty cool story right there.
So
let me read the breaking your oath box.
Yes, please. This is important.
Yeah. A paladin tries to hold the highest standards of their conduct, but even the most virtuous paladin is fallible. Sometimes the right path proves too demanding. Sometimes the situation calls for the lesser of the two evils. And sometimes the heat of emotions cause a paladin to transgress his or her oath. A paladin who has broken a vow typically seeks absolution from a cleric who shares his or her faith, or from another paladin of the same order. The paladin might spend an all-night vigil in prayer as a sign of penance, or undertake a fast or similar act of self-denial. After a rite of confession and forgiveness, the paladin starts fresh. If a paladin willfully violates his or her oath and shows no signs of repentance. What?
Yeah.
I don't know what I saw there. Repentance. Okay. The consequences can be more serious at the DM's discretion. An impenitent paladin may be forced to abandon his class or adopt another, or perhaps to take the Oathbreaker Paladin option that appears in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
So what it's talking about is that in the DMG, there is actually two different class options. There's one for cleric, that's the death domain, and this is under the title villainous class options. So yeah, and then there's one that's the Oathbreaker Paladin. Do you want to go over that real quick? Just kind of like or do you want to
let me get mine real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow, my Dungeon Master's Guide is like pristine condition.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my Dungeon Master's Guide. Just gotta get that dust off of there.
What page am I looking at?
You're gonna go to 96, or rather 97. 96 is just where the villainous class options start. So while you're doing that, I'm gonna read the flavor text for the Oathbreaker.
Do it.
So, and it's really neat because the second little paragraph has something interesting. So it says, an Oathbreaker is a paladin who breaks his or her sacred oaths and pursue some dark ambition or serve an evil power. Excuse me. Whatever light burned in the... Goddamn Boddingtons.
This happened last time too, man.
Why are we sponsored by them? Anyways. I have like 6 pallets of Boddingtons. I can't get rid of it. My HOA says I can't pour any more in the retention pond behind my house. Anyways, whatever light burned in the paladin's heart has been extinguished. Only darkness remains. A paladin must be evil and at least 3rd level to become an Oathbreaker. The paladin replaces features specific to his or her sacred oaths with the Oathbreaker features. So,
ooh, I'm looking at the spells.
Right. Now, this is something. If I naturally, to anyone that's listening, you know what this is now. Like,
oh my god! Somebody, please play a paladin. Please play a paladin for Avernus.
Jose, if you want me to, I can do that.
I'm pretty sure you already have a character, so
I might have one in the works. Just so you know, after every episode, except Druid, I have like come up with an idea for a character. So I'm just saying, by the time we get to wizards, don't be surprised. Well, I already have a wizard made. Never mind, that was a bad. Ironically, the only one I don't have an idea for is a cleric.
Wow, really?
Anyways, I think that's just more of like I played a cleric, so I kind of want to do something there. So what this is implying, not only can you like break your oaths and become an Oathbreaker, but I think this also kind of implies that if you break your oath, you can probably pick up another one instead. I want to kind of go back to that idea after we go through the other subclasses, because I have some interesting ideas for that. So shit, what was I going to say?
So if you become an Oathbreaker,
so this is a class that would be like if someone's playing like an Oath of Devotion or something like that, and they start becoming like liars and stealers and murderers and stuff like that, I'd be like, okay, you broke your oath. Here's your paladin now, and you're like neutral evil or something like that, you know. And then like this is it. This is your class because you broke your oath and you didn't want, you know. I gave you a chance to say, hey, did you want to go talk to the cleric of Heronius or something like that? And you said no. So this is who you are now. Like, obviously, as long as the player's cool with it,
right?
You know, like don't railroad them into being that, but just like session 0, if someone says they're playing a paladin, be like, all right, I might or might not hold you to those oaths, you know. So
yeah. So the spells that you get at 3rd level right away, you get Hellish Rebuke and Inflict Wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Then at 5th level, you get Crown of Madness and Darkness.
Crown of Madness is a spell that sounds cooler than it actually is.
What is it?
It's you like a crown of like barbs and thorns like magically shows up on somebody, and they are like compelled to attack their foe, or not attack their foes,
yes.
attack their friends, kind of a thing. The only problem is that it's a concentration spell, and they get to make a save. I think it's like a wisdom save or something like that. They get to make a save every turn, so it's something like, unless you have a really high DC, you might get a round or 2 out of it, unless they keep rolling really, really bad.
It's still though.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's a really good scenario where this person has like a low wisdom score, like a barbarian or something like that, and you throw crown menace on them, that just all right. I'm just gonna go grab a sandwich real quick. I'll see how this turns out.
Yep.
So,
then at 9th level, you get animate dead and bestow curse, pretty badass. And at 13th level, you get blight and confusion.
Oh, blight is such
blight
a
is disgusting, dude.
Blight is so bad, and I love the fact that says if you're attacking a plant, it automatically fails. I'm like, no, it says something like it automatically fails, and it takes like max damage or some crap, right? It's just like, oh,
yeah. And then at 17th level is contagion and dominate person.
Have you seen Contagion?
No, I have not seen Contagion.
Contagion's mean. It's like, okay, so what it is that you're like, okay, I'm going to get a disease on this guy. Okay, now pick a score that you want to afflict it with. Oh, you want to give them a strength score disease? They have like the shakes now. Like they have disadvantage on all their strength scores, and if they're using strength for attacks, they get disadvantage on that. And it's something that's like if the contagion keeps going on, it like starts depleting their strength score or whatever score it is that they that you're afflicting. So it's a really mean spell.
Dang.
And it's something like if it's I think it was like if it's intelligence, it's like it makes their brain start boiling or some crap like that.
Jesus.
Like it's like I don't see any way you could like cast Contagion and be like, I'm neutral good. I'm like,
no.
You sure about that, man? I mean, it was just a kobold, dude. I don't think it deserved that.
That poor thing.
So,
and then your channel divinity are control undead. So as an action, the paladin targets one undead creature he or she can see within 30 feet of him. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a fail save, the target must obey the paladin's command for the next 24 hours. 24 hours.
The only drawback is that it can't be a challenge rating greater than the paladin's level, or equal or greater than the paladin's level.
I mean,
so
24. So wait, hold on. 24 because 24 hours. Hold on.
That's
just a little bit of spoilers. But like almost every channel divinity thing out there is 1 minute.
It's either like a minute or it's not nearly that long.
Yeah, but it's straight up 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then next...
I mean, to be fair, when you're level 3, like what kind of undeads are you going to be like able to...
Man, but...
You know what? Actually, let's go back to the DMG because there's a monsters list right there.
Well, while you do that...
Because I'm thinking stuff like a zombie. Or, like...
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh shit! A mummy's a challenge rating 3. Never mind.
There you go.
Oof. No, sir.
And then your second channel divinity is.
Can you imagine? Okay, hold on. So it can't be equal or less than your challenge rating, right?
What?
For the control undead, it can't be equal to or less than or equal or more than your challenge rating, right?
Rating is equal to or greater than the paladin's level is immune to this effect.
So if you're level 20, you can control a demi-lich, a death knight,
Jesus,
a death tyrant. Holy shit. A level 20 Oathbreaker Paladin is terrifying.
That's nasty.
That is someone that if you're a level 20 Oathbreaker Paladin, like you're like level 1, I'm gonna be Oath of Devotion, and then immediately start like punching a kid or something like that.
Let's kill a baby.
That's like, okay, the Oathbreaker, yeah. Hey, you know what? This orphanage looks like it can make a good kindling. But it's like the Oathbreaker is supposed to be a punishment, but I'm not seeing any drawbacks here. You're just like, oh no, I lost my oath. Oh no, this ain't so bad.
Oh man. And then the second channel divinity you get is Dreadful Aspect.
Yep.
So it's an action the paladin channels the darkness emotions and focuses them into a burst of magical menace. Each creature of the paladin's choice within 30 feet of the paladin must make a wisdom saving throw. If you can see the paladin on a failed save, the target is frightened of the paladin for 1 minute.
And then it gets to make a wisdom saving throw at the
right.
Does it say at the start of its turn? Oh, once you get 30 feet away from the paladin, then you can make a wisdom saving throw. So you have to use your entire movement to get away from the paladin, or if you're like a tabaxi. Is that the cat person?
Yeah, tabaxi. Yeah.
Okay. Then whatever. So,
and then at level 7, you get Aura of Hate.
Aura of Hate.
Aura of Hate.
That's my band name, by the way.
Okay.
We're on a Bandcamp. Check us out.
You're not cool. So
it's like fucking like prog black metal, man. It's so
I'm so sad. I'm Berber's head.
Bruh.
All right.
Bringing the Bard episode back.
No, leave that guy back there. So the paladin, as well as any fiends and undead within 10 feet of the paladin, gain the bonus to melee weapon. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Any fiend, so not friendlies, but enemies.
That's something I'm noticing. Nobody, and when you're Oathbreaker Paladin, none of your friends get any of these benefits.
Yeah, to melee weapon damage rolls equal to the paladin's charisma modifier. Ooh, that's gross.
The implication of this is that an Oathbreaker Paladin is either, if he's not like the big bad evil guy of your campaign, he's a villain. Like I'm kind of getting the idea this is not meant to be an actual playable class. This is just more like an NPC option kind of a deal.
But it's all here, Brain.
It's all. I mean, it's here. You're not wrong. So.
And then at level 15, you get supernatural resistance,
which means you just gain resistance to all
bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical weapons. Badass. And then at level 20, Dread Lord.
That's the name of our first album.
Do you want to read that one?
Yes. So at 20th level, the paladin can, as an action, surround himself or herself with an aura of gloom that lasts for 1 minute. The aura reduces any bright light in a 30-foot radius around a paladin to dim light. Whenever an enemy that is frightened by the paladin starts to turn in the aura, it takes 4d10 psychic damage. Oof. Additionally, the paladin and creatures he or she chooses in the aura are draped in deeper shadows. Creatures that rely on sight have disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures draped in this shadow. While the aura lasts, the paladin can use a bonus action on his or her turn to cause the shadows in the aura to attack a creature. The paladin makes a melee attack against that target. If the attack hits, the target takes necrotic damage equal to 3d10 plus the paladin's charisma modifier. After activating the aura, the paladin can't do so again until he or she finishes a long rest. Holy fuck.
That is nasty, man.
Can you imagine encountering that?
So I take it back. Nobody can play a Oathbreaker. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be. You know what? Break your oath all you fucking want. You're gonna say.
You're gonna say a paladin. You know what? You're gonna be a human fighter after that.
That's what it was. That's what it used to be. It used to be like, hey, you break your oath. Guess what? You ain't got no powers now. Enjoy your heavy armor. But no, it's like, oh, you break your oath. Here's a handgun. Like, use it wisely.
Wow.
It's just like, God, why did they make the punishment? This is what this is. This is the character equivalent of a parent telling a kid to go to their room. Unbeknownst to them, all their video games and stuff are in their room. So I'll go to my room, Mom, whatever. And you're like, like behind the door.
So doing a 180-degree turn, we go to
I hope you learned your lesson. Meanwhile, the paladin's like draped in shadow. Yeah, like, yep, I sure did. I'm never gonna,
I'm never gonna be a good at tissues ever again.
yeah. Being good is dumb. That's the lesson I learned.
All right, so let's talk about the good ones, Andrew.
No, I think we're good.
Should we have saved the evil one for the end of the episode?
I was honestly thinking we should have, because now all these other ones are going to seem kind of crappy by comparison. Because it's like, the oath of devotion. You get the with the power of friendship. You get the.
So what spells do you get for the oath of devotion, Andrew?
All right, so the spells you get. By the way, all these bonus spells naturally are stuff, things that you can't cast. Like it's not in the paladin's spell list.
Right.
So third level to get protection from evil and good and sanctuary. Actually, I'm wrong. I think those are on the paladin list, but whatever. So protection from evil, good, and sanctuary, both pretty handy spells. Then at fifth, they get lesser restoration and zone of truth. At ninth, they get beacon of hope and dispel magic. 13th, freedom of movement and guardian of faith. And then 17th level, commune and flame strike.
Nice.
So up until 13th level, it's all like support, and or / utility, and then finally at like the very like last couple of levels, they get some offensive based spells. So yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of going along with the class. This is more protection, more like you're kind of helping your friends out, sort of a thing. What the fuck does commune do?
Everybody gets in a circle and they all hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Yeah, and they have to drink the blood of Christ. This is my body. It's a cracker.
No, we're not going there. All right, so channel divinity.
You contact your deity or a divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no.
Is that commune?
Yeah, that's commune. So it's a fucking magic 8-ball.
That's beautiful.
God, are we going to die in this next battle?
Yes.
It's the magic conch. God, please give us a sign. What should we do to prepare for this next fight?
Yes.
Nothing. Nothing. The conch is spoken.
Why is there always a SpongeBob reference, Andrew?
Because I grew up watching SpongeBob. Okay?
Back when it was actually good.
Yeah, it's like ingrained in my DNA. So I had a DVD of like the first couple seasons. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's like all I fucking watched was SpongeBob. Yeah, exactly, when it was good.
All right, Andrew, we gotta get a move on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So sacred weapon. I mean, channel divinity. The first one you get is sacred weapon.
Yeah, which means you get a nice Chloe sword.
For 1 minute, you get to add your charisma modifier to your attack rolls.
Which, I mean, that's not bad. That's that's kind of like rage damage if you think about it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's exactly like rage damage because rage only lasts for like a minute at first, right?
I think so. Yes. I'm 90% sure. And
it's
then
like a holy rage.
And then you get turn the unholy.
Jose, did you leave me?
No, you said. I said you get turn the unholy. Hello.
Yeah, no, sorry. Just my Discord kind of crapped out. Did you talk about the part where your weapon like is all glowy and shit?
No. I moved on to. You also get turn the unholy.
Oh well, I mean, hold on. Your weapon also glows with bright light at 20 feet, dim light at 20 feet, but then it's also magical for that 1 minute as well. So you can just bypass all those resistances for that.
Right.
But then, yeah, you also get turned unholy, like the 5th time we said it. But yeah, so as an action, you present your holy symbol and speak a prayer, censoring fiends and undead using your channel divinity. Each fiend or undead that you can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails the saving throw, it's turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can, and it willingly can't move to a space within 30 feet of you. So it's kind of like Frighten.
Yeah,
sort of.
I don't know why they didn't just say that. You scare them because you're too holy.
Yeah, you honestly could have just like trimmed a lot of the fat by saying use your channel divinity, you cast Frighten, or you cast Fear on undead and fiends.
I appreciate the flavor, but it was fine in the first line.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I get it. These guys were probably paid per word. So, I mean,
cram as much as possible.
What I think is really neat, though, is that it says for its action, it can only use the dash action. And if there's nowhere to move it, it uses its dodge action. So it just like imagine like a ghast like in the corner, and it just starts fucking bobbing and weaving. Nowhere else to move.
Oh god.
Oh shit. It's gonna have to start squaring up. So all right, so that 7th level, you get the Aura of Devotion.
Yay! Your friends can't be charmed.
Within 10 feet, and then at 18th feet, you can't be charmed and within 30 feet. Sorry,
right.
At 18th level, you can't be charmed within 30 feet.
Right.
This, along with the Aura of Protection, Aura of Courage means you can't be charmed or frightened. So
yeah, that's not bad.
So fuck off, dragon.
Stick together, people.
Yeah, you can't scare me.
And then at level 15, you get Purity of Spirit, and then you're always under the effect of protection from evil and good.
Which means you pick something that you now here's the thing, because protection from evil and good, you have to say you have to specify fiend, undead, celestial, fae, kind of a thing, and then whatever that type is, it gets disadvantage on you for attack rolls.
Right.
But does this mean at level 15 you're like, okay, pick one? Undead? Okay, so from now on all undeads have disadvantage on you. Does that seem like what it could be?
I think so.
Because it would seem kind of broken. It would seem kind of broken to be like, and as a bonus action, I'm going to switch my protection from evil and good to fae. like no.
Yeah, that's a good question though.
I want to say, you know what? Hold on. I want to say you have to pick one, and that's it. You're kind of like stuck with it. Let's see. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestial. Well, it says until the spell ends.
You better pick wisely, boy.
Wait, hold on. Oh, never mind. I misread it. So until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestials, elementals, fays, fiends, and undead. The protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls. So it's all creatures.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Right, what were you saying? But you still have to choose.
So aberrations, celestials, elementals, fays, fiends, and undeads, all of them have disadvantage on attacking you.
No. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because it doesn't say pick a type of creature. It just says all creatures.
Oh, well, look at that.
Holy crap!
You are a man of the cloth.
Well, because I mean, think about it. The only thing that's like stopping it from having disadvantage from literally everything is if it just said humanoids and monstrosities.
That's true.
I mean, it's because Celestials, you're probably not going to be fighting a whole lot of those. Neither fae, but like fiends and undead, there's a good amount of enemies.
A lot,
yeah, or aberrations for that matter. Wow, that's actually really good for a level 15 feature. Yeah, that's pretty par for the course.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it any lower than that because otherwise, yeah,
yeah. Otherwise, that's just kind of broken. But
yeah.
Like I said, level 15. Like at level 15, your paladin should be able to wade, in the army of darkness and come out like clean.
True.
So,
and then what do we get at level 20, Andrew?
At level 20, you get the Holy Nimbus.
Is that like a Nimbus 2000?
Yes. No, actually, I think it's kind of more like the Nimbus cloud that Goku gets. Wait, hold on. Let me read the description here. So, at 20th level, as an action, you can emanate an aura of sunlight. For 1 minute, bright light shines from you in a 30-foot radius, and dim light 30 feet beyond that. Whenever an enemy creature starts its turn in the bright light, the creature takes 10 radiant damage. In addition, for the duration, you have advantage on saving throws against spells cast by fiends or undead. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short rest. Or no, sorry, you can't finish it until you finish a long rest. Can't use it until you finish a long rest. God!
Can you read? Can you read that again, please?
Guys, I'm really fucked up. The Boddington's really strong.
Isn't that like old lady beer?
Hold on. What is the actual percentage on this? It's probably something stupid like 2%.
Andrew, you can't hold your liquor. Come on, man.
I really can't. I lost that like a long time ago.
Actually, me too. It's funny that you say that because you know how I always gave you shit because you can get drunk on like 2 beers.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I was getting buzzed with like 2.
No,
like,
dude.
Damn.
It depends on the type of beer and how much I've had to eat that day. Like if it's like, say for instance, like I didn't really have that much to eat and I have an IPA, like that's it. I'm toasty. So,
all right. Well, we're not talking about beer.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I'm not drinking beer. I'm drinking the blood of Christ because
it's gross. Okay. So level 20, the Holy Nimbus.
Okay. Wait, I read that already.
Right. I'm just giving a little recap because you like.
I thought you wanted me to read it again. Okay.
No.
I'm sorry. Okay. I had a lot of seafood. My mind is like not here.
So you're not gonna give a recap of what it is?
Okay, so at level 20,
let's move to Oath of the Ancients.
Fucking Christ. Okay,
Holy Nimbus, you become really big and bright.
Yeah, no, you don't become big. It doesn't say you become big. No, you just get really shiny, and creatures within a 30-foot radius of you take 10 radiant damage. So,
wow.
like you are like sunlight. That'd be really handy in a certain campaign we're playing.
I was just thinking about that. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, but what are you guys gonna do? We're just gonna stay in the wolves, and we're just gonna stay in the woods and grind wolves until we reach level 20. Well, it's a milestone. It's a milestone campaign, wolves. So have fun with that.
Isn't killing all the wolves in Barovia a milestone?
No. It's not. I mean, yeah, maybe. That's a lot. That's a lot, dude. There's not like a fucking statistics list on how many wolves there are in Barovia.
Okay. So let's move on to Oath of the Ancients.
The Oath of the Ancients is as old as a race of elves and the rituals of the druids, sometimes called Fey Knights. You fucker. Sometimes called Fey Knights, Green Knights, or Horn Knights, paladins who swear this oath cast their lot on the side of the light in the cosmic struggle against darkness because they love the beautiful and life-giving things of the world. Not necessarily because they believe in principles of honor, courage, or justice. They adorn their armor and clothing with images of growing things, leaves, antlers, or flowers to reflect their commitment to preserving life and light in the world.
Growing things, you say?
No.
So the tenets of it, what?
I don't know. Just the way you said that, I'm like, he's going somewhere with this.
Wow, you're nasty.
No,
Andrew. Why were you even thinking about that? Jesus.
Because you said it like growing things.
All right. So the tenets for this oath. Okay, so you're a kindle of light. Through your acts of mercy, kindness, and forgiveness, kindle the light of hope in the world, beating back despair. Wow, what a hippie! And then
I'm just saying, this paladin would be really good friends with the bard.
Yeah. Shelter the light, where there is good, beauty, love, and laughter in the world. And stand against the wickedness, and stand against the wickedness and what the hell?
Would stand against the wickedness. That would stand.
That was, oh, wow, I read that completely wrong. Where life flourishes, stand against the forces that would render it barren. And then preserve your own light. Delight in song and laughter. Oh my God, this is such a fucking hippie. In beauty and art, if you allow the light to die in your own heart, you can't preserve it. This guy has a live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love, exactly. Swirling around a glass of like cheap Chardonnay.
No. He has like he has a a mug with a little cat in it, and it says "live, laugh, love," or whatever the fuck.
He wears a wreath of flowers in his off time, and he has a collection of like healing crystals that if someone touches, they're like, oh, I have to bring it to a natural spring under a full moon to purify it, and they fucking smell like patchouli or something like that.
So you also have to be the light. Be a glorious beacon for all who live in despair. Let the light of your joy and courage shine forth in all of your deeds.
Wait, how can you be the light and preserve your own light?
Whoa.
Wait, how can you... Hold on. So it says kindle the light, shelter the light, preserve your own light, and then be the light.
So just keep the light going, bro.
I have to be the light. I have to taste the light.
I am one with the light.
I have to smell the light.
All right. So what spells do we get?
So,
a level 3. Ensnaring strike.
Hold on.
And speak with animals. Of course he speaks with animals.
Speak with animals is not useless.
It's completely useless.
It's really not.
It is useless.
Think about it. Because there's going to be well, I mean, it all depends on your definition of an animal. Like, if it's like even if you are in like the most barren, like wasteland, desert, whatever, if there's like a lizard, that's technically an animal. So you can speak with it.
And what is it going to say?
Well, I mean, you can like ask it for like, hey, do you know where like fucking water's at, man?
We went over this.
What do you mean?
They don't become friendly towards you. They're like, oh my god, this guy's not gonna be bye. And runs away.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. It's not useless. It all depends. It's not useless. It all depends on how creative you want to be with it.
It's definitely useless.
If it's like hour 4 of what was supposed to be a 2.5 hour session, like you're like, yeah, the squirrel tells you this, whatever. But I mean, like you can get creative with it.
Fine.
You know?
Okay, fine. Then level 5th, you get Misty Step and Moonbeam. Of course, yes.
Misty Step's really handy.
Yeah, no, Moonbeam's pretty cool too. 9th level, you get Plant Growth, Protection from... Oh my god, this guy is like... Jesus. 13th level, you get Ice Storm and Stone Skin. Cool.
Hell
17th level, you get Commune with Nature and Tree Stride. You also get Tree Hugger too.
Now, see... Commune with Nature. I'm not entirely sure about that one. Hold on.
Just hug a tree.
Yeah, but like what... And Tree Stride, like these have to be some pretty good spells to be like that late in the game, you know. Hold on, let me read them and be completely wrong on this. Let's see. The commune with nature. You briefly become one with nature and gain knowledge of the surrounding territories. In the outdoors, the spells give you knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. In caves and other natural underground settings, the radius is limited to 300. The spell doesn't function where nature has been limited or replaced by construction, such as dungeons or towns. You instantly gain knowledge of one of the 3 facts of your choice related to the area: terrain or body of waters, prevalent plants, minerals, animals or people, powerful celestial fiends, phase, elementals or undead, influence from other planes of existence, or buildings. I mean,
that's fine. It's thematic.
It's also a ritual spell, so you don't have to use the spell slot with it.
Yeah.
So I think Tree Stride's actually better. Because I think Tree Stride, I think that's actually, you can like teleport between trees or something like that. Yeah, you gain the ability to enter a tree and move from inside to inside another tree of the same kind within 500 feet.
I'm one with a tree.
Can you imagine that? Just seeing a paladin just running full tilt into a tree like it's fucking platform 9 3/4.
Oh man. All right. So, what are the channel? What are the channel divinities for this one?
The first one you get. No, these are at level 3, by the way. The first one you get is Nature's Wrath. You can use your channel divinity to invoke primeval forces to ensnare a foe. As an action, you can cause spectral vines to spring up and reach for a creature within 10 feet of you that you can see. The creature must succeed on a strength or dexterity saving throw, its choice, or be restrained. While restrained by the vines, the creature repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turn. On a success, it frees itself and the vines vanish. It's entanglement.
Yep, I was just about to say it.
Like, it literally could have just been, it's entanglement.
Why do you do this to us, wizard?
The dude that wrote this was me writing an essay in like senior class where it's like it has to be like X amount of words. So instead of saying don't, I put do not.
Yeah,
something like that.
We've all been there, man. We've all been there.
Yeah. So
and then,
all right, Craig, we get it. You know words.
And then we get Turn the Faithless. Second rating.
So this one seems a little weird to me, but yeah, here we go. So Turn the Faithless. You can use your channel divinity to utter ancient words that are painful for Fae and fiends to hear. As an action, you present your holy symbol, and each Fae or fiend within 30 feet of you that can hear you must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. So it's the same thing as Turn the Unholy, but it's for Fae and fiends instead of undead and fiends.
Yeah.
Which it's like, I actually like the Oath of Ancients more than the Oath of Devotion, because the Oath of Devotion is pretty vanilla. That's like what I grew up knowing. So the Oath of Ancients, like, oh dude, it's like it's like a Green Knight kind of a thing. Like, that's really neat. But the Turn of Faithless, I can see that being used more for fiends than Fae, because there's not really a whole lot of Fae creatures that you can fight or that should be hostile, unless like your DM has the other two like monster manuals. Because the only Fae I can think of right off the bat that is hostile is a green hag. I think is a sea hag. Is a sea hag a Fae as well?
I think so. They're all Faes.
Yeah. No, not the night hag. The night hag's a fiend.
That kind of makes sense actually.
Yeah. So it's just like, because I mean, like, why do you need to turn a Fae for? It's a pixie. It has literally 1 health. It's just like,
I don't know, man. So level 7. At level 7, you get Aura of Warden.
So, beginning at 7th level, ancient magic lies so heavily upon you that it forms an eldritch ward. You and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you have resistance to damage from spells. At 18th level, this range of this aura increases to 30 feet.
Yeah, that's pretty useful.
Yeah, the resistance to all spell damage, yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the ones that do like psychic damage, which like almost nobody has resistance to, except for that one weird class in Nebula.
Or a fireball when you're walking down the stairs to a temple.
I mean,
you're all together really close by.
That's not my fault. That's not. That's not my fault. I was just reading. I mean, all this is just me reading stuff from a book, and you guys get upset. So, I mean, this is not my fault.
We weren't upset. We were just really hurt. That's all. In game and in real life.
I mean, it's
3 fireballs, Andrew.
It's Andrew. It's not the fact that you threw the fireballs at us. It's the fact that you laughed while you were doing it. Everybody make a dexterity save.
That was pretty much you.
Because I didn't.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We will. It's okay. We're gonna play Avernus next, and then things will happen. So
level 1 fireballs.
So level 15.
The portal of Avernus opens, and 20 fireballs all aimed towards Andrew. Nobody else has to make a dexterity save. You're fine.
Magically, they warp around the rest of the party and don't harm anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, the rest of the party got a pendant of like fireball, like immunity.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I mean, okay. So to be honest, you guys were like so good at combing the areas. Like, I didn't think you guys were actually going to go downstairs. So then,
Vesemir didn't want to go downstairs. That's what I'm going to say.
So when somebody, I'm not going to name names, but when someone's like, "Let's go downstairs," I was just like, I'm just going to see how this happens. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna let this play out.
I literally just sat back. I was like, okay. I just wanted to see what happened. I thought
you thought what? That we were just gonna like.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to like.
So for the listeners that didn't watch our episode, it's still there. You can watch it.
It's on YouTube, ain't it?
Yeah. No, it's on Twitch right now. I need to move into YouTube. Anyways, but we were exploring this nice little temple.
It's the Amber Temple.
And then, so far it's been kind of challenging, but not like anything crazy. And then we're like, let's go downstairs and explore this area over here. As soon as like the first person like steps on the like last step of the stairs, 3 fireballs. No, it was 4. 3 from the walls and then 1 coming from the freaking statue.
No. 1 didn't come from the statue.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
No,
3 fireballs.
Not yet.
Not yet. 3 fireballs to the face. Luckily, the rogue just stepped away.
Yeah.
But everybody else, I took full damage. I almost died. It was great. It was fantastic.
Naturally, the rogue just like walked away clean, but but it was just. I have to admit, it was interesting to see your guys' reactions when I'm like, I need a dexterity saving throw. Actually, I need 3 of them.
That was the part that I was like, what? Anyways, having Aura of Warding would have been very, very useful at that moment. So level 15.
Yeah, that's right.
The Oath of the Ancients, you get Undying Sentinel.
There's always something in every fucking episode that throws it off the rails.
Oh, yeah. If reduced to 0 hit points, you choose to drop 1 to 1 instead. So this is the Undying thing from the Berserker anyways.
Yeah, this is also Death Ward, the spell Death Ward as well.
Right.
Additionally, you suffer none of the drawbacks of old age. Woo. You can't be aged magically.
Why is that a thing?
I can see that being more like a thematic thing because it's like, oh, it's nature. So
okay.
Yeah.
And then at level 20, you get Elder Champion. You become the champion of nature for 1 minute.
I actually think this is pretty cool.
Yeah, you get at the start of each of your turn, you regain 10 hit points. Whenever you cast a paladin spell that has casting time of 1 action, you can cast it using a bonus action, which is badass.
Which means you can also do an attack, which means you can also do a smite.
Yep.
So
enemy
smites. That essentially means you can do 2 smites in a round.
Enemy creatures within 10 feet of you have disadvantage on saving throws against your paladin spells and channel divinity options. So
what I think is really neat is that it says at 20th level you assume the form of an ancient force of nature, taking on appearance you can choose.
Yeah, right.
Which like suddenly like you have like leaves coming out of your hair or some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn into Groot. I am Groot.
I don't see why not. I'm actually really surprised they don't get bark skin as well as a spell. Wow, yeah. You know what? That's actually. Oh, you know what? That's probably because they already I think they already start out with heavy armor, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they start out with chainmail. So I mean, all bark skin does it just raises your AC to 6. Sorry,
it doesn't count.
Huh?
Like it wouldn't do anything.
No, it really wouldn't, because all it does is raise your AC to 16. So if you already have a 16 AC.
So yeah, that's Oath of Ancients. A little bit of a hippie, but kind of scary too.
Wait, no, you mean the Oath of Ancients?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said Oath of Vengeance.
No, I said Ancient.
Whatever. That sounded like you said Oath of
This is why I will never really go to the radio.
I mean, I know the Oath of Ancients sounds like it's a bit of a hippie thing, but I actually think it's really neat. I think it's kind of it's kind of like breaking the idea of what is good. You know? Like it's like it's more like nature is good sort of a thing instead of like civilization. So I mean, I just think it's really neat to have a heavily armored knight like protecting a grove or something like that. That'd be like the last thing I would expect to see when I go into a forest.
True.
So yeah, it just conjures up a lot of ideas and really cool imagery for me. So
because you're a hippie?
No, because I worship the old gods. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Like everyone should be.
All right, so now let's move on to the Oath of Vengeance.
Otherwise known as the worst subclass.
You're the worst subclass.
I mean, I don't know. The Oath of Vengeance is okay.
So, the Oath of Vengeance is a solemn commitment. Well, I was just going to read it.
Yeah, no, it's just like... Anyways. The Oath of
Vengeance. You're wrong, I'm right. All right. So, Oath of Vengeance. Vengeance. The Oath of Vengeance is a solemn commitment to punish those who have committed a grievous sin. When evil forces slaughter helpless villagers, when an entire people turns against the will of the gods, when a thief's guild grows too violent and powerful, when a dragon's rampages through the countryside, at times like these, paladins arise and swear an oath of vengeance, to set right that which has gone wrong, to these paladins sometimes called avengers or dark knights. Their own purity is not as important as delivering justice.
We can't save the world, but we can avenge it.
Right.
So I think what's really interesting, before we really dive into, is that this was like the closest you were going to get to an evil paladin in the PHB. And it's like, and it's still like, no, it's not really evil. We didn't say evil.
Yep.
Well, I mean, once we get into the Tens of Vengeance, that'll make it more obvious as to why. Right.
So the first one is fight the greater evil. Faced with the choice of fighting my sworn foes or combating a lesser evil, I choose the greater evil. No mercy for the wicked. Ordinary foes might win my mercy, but my sworn enemies do not. By any means necessary. The qualms can't get in the way of exterminating my foes. And finally, restitution. If my foes wreak ruin on the world, it is because I failed to stop them. I must help those harmed by their misdeeds.
I feel like
this guy's carrying the world on his shoulders.
Right. And I feel like when it comes to the tenets, the last one is the only one that could probably make them break their oaths, because the other ones are just like, hey, fuck them up.
Yeah, exactly.
But then like the restitution is the only one, like, oh wait, you're still good. You have to, like, don't forget, you're still a good guy. So I can see a lot of people playing this one just purely on the fact that, well, first of all, it was the closest thing, like I said, like an evil paladin, so a lot of people are probably going to play that just for the novelty of it, but also because it's the one that gives them the most leeway in terms of what they can or can't do. So
that's true. So,
yep.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Discord like froze for me for a second.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, like it just like completely froze. So
right. Moving on to the oath spells. You want to go over them?
Yep. So at third level, to get Bane and Hunter's Mark, which Bane's pretty cool. Hunter's Mark is the more interesting of the two. It's really interesting that they're the only other class that can get Hunter's Mark besides the Rangers.
Yeah.
At fifth, they get Hold Person and Misty Step, which I think Misty Step is just there just to make them look cool. Ninth, they get Haste. Christ. Ninth, they get Haste, and then they get Protection from Energy. 13th, they get Banishment, and then Dimension Door for some reason.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, that...
Like, what would be the point of that?
The only reason why I can see that is something that's like, your sworn enemies on the other side of the battlefield, and there's all these innocent people in between. Like, nope. Dimension Door, just gonna pop over there, kind of a, that way, like, it gets like the innocents out of the way. And then at 17th level, Hold Monster and Scrying.
Huh. Well, if you're looking for your enemies on your sworn foe, I guess kind of makes sense.
I can see Scrying being like, okay, I have an Oath of Vengeance on this guy. I need to know what he's doing right now, kind of a thing. So, yeah, it's certainly an interesting spell choice. I was expecting more offensive based spells going in, But really, besides Hunter's Mark, everything else is like weird, like utility spells.
Yeah, I was thinking he was gonna get like, or she was gonna get like, I don't know, inflict wounds or something like that, something along those lines.
Yeah, like inflict wounds, maybe something like like hellish rebuke.
Yeah,
that would probably be another good one. Yeah, no, it's really weird. It's just a really esoteric choice of spells, especially like none of these, except for like I said, except for Bane or Hunter's Mark, none of these really say vengeance to me.
right.
So
And you get those two at third level. So everything after that is.
Yeah, everything after that, you kind of have to, you have to think outside the box, which is not a bad thing. I that's something I need to work on. So, because you can't just keep throwing fireballs at your party, or at you.
Stop it! Right, and now let's get on to
more fireballs.
All right, so let's get into the channel.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right, so now let's get to the channel divinities for the Oath of Vengeance. Right. The first one is abjure enemy. So you can find one creature for 1 minute.
Any creature.
Yeah, but it's one, right? It's one creature.
It's any one creature, but fiends or undead have disadvantage on this. So
yeah.
So unlike the other ones, it's like fiends or undead or fae and fiends for some reason. It's any one creature. So yeah. So it kind of because it's vengeance. So it can't be like, oh, due to my oath, I have to have vengeance against a celestial? Wait.
Yeah. How does that work?
Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Wait, so the creature's speed is reduced to 0.
And it can't benefit from bonus to its speed. Huh.
So they can't really run away. They just
save the creature speed is halved for 1 minute.
Yeah. So this would
probably be more like a situation like you see your sworn enemy. They are right there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use my abjure enemy to stop them in their tracks, and I'm going to get to them.
Then you're going to use...
And even if they make their save, you could still probably catch up to them.
True. Interesting.
So
the first time I see the whole speed to 0 thing.
Yeah, usually when it comes to frighten, they have to use a maximum amount of their speed to get away from you. So
yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, to be fair, I kind of feel like the speed to 0 is more in line with being frightened, because it's really like a fight or flight thing, and sometimes you're just kind of rooted in fear, from your experience. So I can see that working out really well. Plus, how fucking terrifying would that be to have an Oath of Vengeance paladin after your ass? So you just like, and the guy is just like, you, and just like points you out in the crowd.
And then vow of enmity.
Enmity? Heather's going to correct us on the next session. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll figure it out. So as a bonus action, you can utter a vow of can't talk right now. Utter a vow of enmity. 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 Against a creature you see within 10 feet of you, using your channel divinity, you get advantage on attack rolls against that one creature for 1 minute,
or until it drops to 0 or fall unconscious.
And at that point, like, what?
So again, it's like the what was that one subclass that did that? The monster hunter or the monster slayer and ranger?
I think so.
Like it focuses on one dude. Which, I mean, for a I was gonna say barbarian for some reason. For a paladin, that works perfectly, because like I said, they excel in 1-to-1 combat. So that plus all this stuff, like, heaven help that guy that that this guy has sworn an oath of vengeance.
I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find your ass.
I've always heard if your party is a bunch of murder hobos, roll up an Oath of Vengeance. There's your big bad evil guy for the campaign.
Oh shit! Didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Because hey, remember that shopkeeper that you killed? Well, his son learned how to use a sword and was bestowed by his god to carry out an Oath of Vengeance or some crap like that.
Badass.
Oh yeah, the Oath of Vengeance Paladin is always like the thing that's gonna rein in a party of murder hobos
for sure.
So,
all right. And then level 7, Relentless Avenger.
By 7th level, your supernatural focus helps you close off a foe's retreat. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, you can move up to half your speed immediately after your attack, and as part of the same reaction. This movement does not provoke opportunity attacks.
So essentially, if you get you just
essentially
move. Essentially, you just move far ahead, and then you try to catch him again. Another opportunity attack.
I can probably see this being like a situation where it's like, okay, you're going after the head of the Thieves Guild, kind of a thing, and he's throwing a bunch of like lackeys at you. Well, you're trying to cut through the mob, and you hit one guy, and you're just like, okay, fuck it, and you just kind of like shove him aside, and you use your speed to keep going after the guy that you're trying to pursue.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, not bad.
I mean, at either way, even if that's not the situation, you can move without getting an attack of opportunity. So
yeah,
that extra movement of the battlefield is always handy
for sure. And then at level 15, you get Soul of Vengeance. You can attack a creature that's under your vow of enmity if they attack.
Enmity?
Enmity?
I'm going to look up how to pronounce this. This joke's going on for too long.
So if you have somebody under your vow of enmity, and they attack either you or somebody else, you get to attack them.
Yep.
Like you get a free attack on them. So that's pretty useful.
Enmity.
English is so stupid.
Hold on. Enmity.
Anyways, level 20, Avenging Angel. I wrote down. You become an angel for 1 minute.
It's really. I mean, yes, it is that. But I think this was when you were talking about how in the sorcerer, was it the sorcerer episode where you're talking about how like you wanted to do like radiant damage, but still be like fearsome and
scary. Yeah,
scary. I think this was what you were talking about. Like this was immediately what sprung to my mind when I read this.
So wings sprout from your back and grant you a flying speed of 60, which is pretty fucking fast.
That's double that's double your speed.
Yeah, then you emanate an aura of menace in 30-foot radius. The first time any enemy creature enters the aura or start its turn where there during battle, the creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you for 1 minute, or until it takes damage. Attack rolls against the frightened creature have advantage. Yeah. But hold on, because this is a level 20 skill. I will add it there like, I don't know, you get an extra like 4d8 of radiant damage, plus you get to, I don't know, disembowel somebody. I don't know. It's like too.
You get a free Mortal Kombat finisher.
Well, it's two bullet points, and they're just you move fast and you scare people. Like, okay.
Yeah,
at level 20.
Everybody,
but it's a level 20.
Yeah, but hold on. So it's everybody around you within 30 feet. It becomes frightened if they fail a wisdom saving throw, which you're probably going to have a really good DC at that point. And then all attack rolls against that creature is going to have advantage. So, I mean, I'm not saying this is like, but it's not bad. That plus the fact that, you also get your bonus spells, and then you also like even just as a normal paladin, you still get this stuff. Like it's not something that is immediately appealing. You do kind of have to workshop it.
Yeah.
However, flying speed is always something that I'm never going to say no to, because a lot of things don't really get flying speed. So
yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, like, do you see what I'm kind of saying? Where it's like the Oath of Vengeance was like kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, because it's not at all the badassery that you want.
Yeah, because like it's like I really felt like they were like trying to hold back. Because like it's like, oh, we can make an evil paladin, but we probably shouldn't.
Oh, dare they?
So then we're moving on to Xanathar's guy, where they make an evil paladin.
That's what I was gonna say.
And then so then they got the Xanathar's guy, and you're like, you know what? Fuck it.
They're that JonTron video with the cocaine. What the fuck is a Sonic?
So we get two extra coming out here. We get two extra oaths in Xanathar's guide, and unlike the other ones where it's like you have like an evil one, a nature one, and like a good one, this is like the two opposites.
Yep.
Like you have one that is like it doesn't outright say it's evil, but when you read it, you're like, it would be extremely difficult to justify a good aligned character.
Well, hold on, because I do like the wording on the Oath of Conquest.
Right. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But then the other one, it's to the point where it's like, you have to play a good guy. Like you have to.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I was like reading them. I remember the first time I read this. So badass. I can't wait to see the other one. And then like you just flip the page and the pictures.
It's like a dragonborn lady wearing like a robe and having like a staff with a ribbon on it. And you're like,
why don't you just have like a little white flag or something?
Oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. So, anyways, so let's get into Oath of Conquest.
Yeah. So apparently the other oath is that you get to play as a French person during World War II. Ooh. Yeah. Right. Fuck you, Pierre. What are you gonna do?
So the Oath of Conquest. The Oath of Conquest calls to paladins to seek glory in battle and the subjugation of their enemies. It isn't enough for these paladins to establish order. They must crush the forces of chaos. Sometimes called night tyrants or ironmongers. Those who swear this oath gather into grim orders that serve gods of philosophies of war and well-ordered might. I like that. Well-ordered might.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these paladins go so far as to consort with the powers of the nine hells, valuing the rule of law over the balm of mercy. The Archdevil Bell, Warlord of Avernus.
Sorry, man. Something stuck in my throat.
Man, counts many of these paladins called Hell Knights as his most ardent supporters. Hell Knights covered their
Yeah. So for like 3 minutes, they just made nothing but like weird coughing noises. I don't understand. This is why we can't get WebDM on the podcast, because I'm fucking embarrassed to have them on it. So here's a little sample of what you're gonna get if you get on this show.
It's just that clip.
And they're just like, yeah, no.
Oh shit, I got a headache. Okay, hold on. So, the Archdevil Bell, Warlord of Avernus, count many of these paladins called Hell Knights as his most ardent supporters. Hell Knights cover their armor with trophies taken from fallen enemies, a grim warning to any who dare oppose them, and the decrees of their lords. These knights are often most fiercely resisted by other paladins of this oath, who believe that the Hell Knights have wandered too far into dark.
I think it's really neat. First of all, the artwork for the Paladin of Conquest, it's a tiefling, naturally. But if you notice, it has a demon's head as a mace, and then it has a bunch of broken swords along its belt.
So it's badass.
It's kind of like an Iron Throne situation where it's collecting the trophies.
Yeah, pretty badass.
So, real quick, before we get into it, I want to do a little thought experiment before we get into this class.
Okay.
Having read that, how would you make a good aligned Oath of Conquest?
Somebody who is trying to get something out of Bell, and this was the only way for them to go through it. But they're chaotic at it, so they can get past the killing. I don't know. That's as far as I get.
I mean, the only I read that and I was trying to think you know just because naturally this springs up like evil paladins and stuff like that. But I'm like, how would you make a good paladin? The only thing I could think of is like it's someone that was like raised as a child to like believe this like belief, so they've been indoctrinated. So this is like the only thing they believe in.
Right.
So in their minds, what they're believing, like what they believe is good. But so they're technically good, you know.
Well, let's just because you're an Oath of Conquest doesn't mean that you're a Hell Knight. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Because it says, I said if just because you're an Oath of Conquest Paladin doesn't mean that you're automatically a Hell Knight. Because it does say there, it says some of these Paladins go so far as to consort with the power of the 9 Hell. Right. So like not all of them.
I can see this if we wanted to be less evil about this would probably be like you're at war with another nation. Let's just kind of throw like the Crusades out there because this is obviously what's going to spring up. And okay, so you've been at war with these guys for a while now. All right, it's time to bring out the big guns. Let's bring out the Oath of Conquest Paladins. You know, like these are going to be the dudes that will sweep through the enemy nation and like, you know, knock down any resistance kind of a thing. You know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right. So let's move on to the tenants.
Yeah.
So, douse the flame of hope. It is not enough to merely defeat an enemy in battle. Your victory must be overwhelming. So overwhelming that your enemies will fight its shattered. Oh my god, I can't think.
Your enemies will fight. No.
I'm gonna repeat that.
Let me do it.
Douse the flame of hope. It is not enough to merely defeat the enemy in battle. Your victory must be so overwhelming that your enemies will to fight is shattered forever. A blade can end a life, fear, and end an empire. God, these guys are fucking brutal. All right,
I'm gonna make a neutral good Oath of Conquest, guys.
rule with an iron fist. Once you have conquered, tolerate no dissent. Your word is law. Those who obey it shall be favored. Those who defy it shall be punished as an example to all who might follow. Yeah, you're right. There's no way you can make a good like.
That's what I'm saying. Like the only way you can do it is if like that person was actually brainwashed.
Yeah.
Into believing like what they're doing is good. You know.
Yeah, but then like, what's the point of like? Is the goal of that character to realize that he's doing is wrong? Because then what's the point? Like, just I say just delve into it and play with it. Anyways, so the last one is strength above all. You shall rule until a stronger one arises. Then you must grow mightier and meet the challenge, or fall to your own ruin.
So, at most, I could see a neutral aligned paladin being this.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of potential for evil, but even then, it says they value law over anything else.
Yeah.
So you can't be chaotic evil, Sesamir. So
that's a very devilish thing.
Yeah, exactly. A devils versus demons situation.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to go over the spells?
I absolutely do. So, at 3rd level, they get Armor of Agathis and Command, which I think Command is one of the cooler spells that I don't see getting a lot of play for some reason. And then at 5th level, they get Hold Person and Spiritual Weapon. Makes sense. At 9th level, they get Bestow, Curse, and Fear. Again, makes sense.
Nice. Yeah.
At 13th level, they get Dominate, Beast, and Stone Skin. Stone Skin, I can see that just being like, okay, we got to give them something, Dominate Beast is a better one. And then at 17th level, Cloud Kill and Dominate Person.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of this is just like subjugation. This is just it's not. It's like what it says. It's not enough that you win; everyone else must lose.
Yeah.
Like this is control over over anything else. So
and then let's go down to the channel divinities.
Right. So the first one is conquering presence. Jose, take it away. What's conquering presence?
Let me see what I wrote down. Sometimes I write like weird things.
Okay.
Conquering presence. You can frighten a creature. Oh wow. Look. You can use your channel divinity to exude a terrifying presence. But yeah, that's it. They make a wisdom saving throw. Becomes frightened of you for 1 minute. The frightened creatures can saving throw at the end of each of its turn, and in effect on itself.
Now the big difference between this and the Oath of Vengeance is that the Oath of Vengeance is one person, but this is every person.
Yeah,
like of your choice.
So why would you even go to Vengeance? You know.
Because the Oath of Vengeance one, you also get. I think don't you also get advantage on attack rolls? No. Because the Oath of Vengeance one, their speed goes to 0.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so you can like peg that person down. Whereas this one, they have to move away from you.
Yeah.
So, and then you also get guided strike.
You gain plus 10
Holy
bonus to your attack roll. Plus 10, dude.
Okay, so hold on. Are you aware of the feat, Great Weapon Fighting?
Yes.
Or Great Weapon Master?
Yes. It's the one. Didn't Howard have that?
I'm not entirely sure, but what it does is that if you so choose, you can take a -5 on your attack roll to add a plus 10 to your damage.
Damn.
Flat. Plus 10, no matter what. So that coupled with guided strike is busted beyond belief. God, that is. Whoo. Jose, I might have to roll. I'm not roll.
Hold on, because this is not to damage roll, to attack roll.
Right. No. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, you take that -5.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But you still get a +5 out of that.
Yeah.
So,
Are you getting sweaty over there?
Yeah. So it's essentially like, hey, here's my free plus 10 damage.
Jesus Christ.
That is awesome.
And then that's not even counting like this divine smite.
And it says you can make this. Yeah, shit. Holy God. I didn't even think about that. And it says you can make this choice after you see the roll, but before the DM says whether the attack hits or misses.
Hit or misses. So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to use my channel divinity. Ah, fuck. I rolled a 1.
Right. Right.
So, oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, so moving on.
No.
Don't start making the character right now. You have to wait till we're done.
Okay, fine.
Then at level 7, you get Aura of Conquest. You constantly emanate an aura that frightens creatures and reduces its speed.
The aura extends 10 feet from you in every direction, but not through total cover. And that creature takes psychic damage equal to half your paladin level if it starts there. Ooh.
Then if the creature is frightened, the speed is reduced to 0 while in the aura. And the speed is reduced to 0 while it's in the aura.
So that's going to couple with the conquering presence.
Yep. Yeah, this thing is terrifying, dude.
Wow, it's like they took the Oathbreaker and it's like, all right, how can we make this even meaner?
Yep, and then at level 15, Scornful Rebuke.
All right, so
when a creature attacks you, they get psychic damage equal to your charisma modifier.
No. I love the description for this because it says starting at 15th level, those who dare to strike you are psychically punished for their audacity.
I just imagine like a random NPC. It's like he's just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, I should have done that. It's like the picture of Shaggy. He's like, are you challenging me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what was it? There was a quote from a celebrity or something like that where it's like, oh, when someone approaches you, what's the first thing you notice about them? And they replied like the audacity.
But yeah, dude, this guy is mean.
Well, he's not only mean, but he's meant to like knock whoever he's fighting down like by a million pegs. Yep. You know, like it says, it's not enough for them to be defeated. They have to fear you.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then at level 20, you want to read that one?
20, it's called the Invincible Conqueror. You gain the ability to harness extraordinary martial prowess. As an action, you can magically become the Avatar of Conquest, gaining the following benefits for 1 minute. You have resistance to all damage. All damage. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can make one additional attack as part of that action.
Mm-hmm.
Your melee weapon attacks score a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20 on the D20.
See?
So you get... So you essentially become a barbarian for a minute.
Yeah.
You become a barbarian and a fighter and a champion fighter because then you get improved critical.
Yep.
Oh man.
It's a level 20, but still.
Like, see, that makes sense to me for it being level 20. Can you imagine a level 20 paladin and you like it? A level 20 paladin is literally like that part in Game of Thrones where the Night King is like the dragon's breathing fire on the Night King, and it's just like standing right there.
Yeah.
It's just, God, that would be. But it would.
This is okay. So you know how you told me like, oh, you know, like when I was reading that part on the vengeance thing on level 20, I forgot what it was called. Avenging Angel. You were like, oh, this is kind of what I wanted, what I thought you were saying when you wanted like the Celestial to be terrifying. No, this is what I want, but Celestial.
I can still see this being used for a Celestial.
Yeah.
Like it would have to be like a lawful neutral thing where it's like, I'm technically not part of any side. Like I'm just on the side of law, kind of a deal, you know. But still, like, you know, the demons are uprising, so it's not enough. You can't just defeat a demon. You have to, like, crush its ambition.
Make sure it doesn't come back, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have to smote it until it can't come back. So, oh, jeez.
That's what I want.
Oh, jeez. Let's not even bother with the Oath of Redemption. I don't want to. How can we follow up to that?
All right. So now we move on to Oath of Redemption. You want to read that?
So here's a neat little fun fact.
What's up?
There was a third oath that was in like the UA. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Like I said, Discord's being weird, so I'm just making sure. So in the Unearthed Arcana that they like did a survey for, they had the Oath of Redemption, the Oath of Conquest, but then there was one called the Oath of Deceit. And like essentially all that was that they were trying to make like the paladin or rogue. Like, that's weird. Like yeah, like they gave him like pass without trace and like darkness and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay. You know, like it just didn't really seem in line with a paladin. And that's I can see why that one didn't make the cut.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyways. Let's get on with the Oath of Redemption.
Wow, you have to read it. You have to do this, Andrew.
The Oath of Redemption sets Paladin.
No, with passion.
Like Redemption.
Do it like you care.
Say it like you mean it, Andrew. I'm sorry. All right. The Oath of Redemption sets a paladin on a difficult path, one that requires a holy warrior to use violence only as a last resort. Paladins who dedicate themselves to this oath believe that any person can be redeemed, and that the path of benevolence and justice is one that anyone can walk. These paladins face evil creatures in the hope of turning their foes to the light, and they slay their enemies only when such a deed will clearly save other lives. Paladins who follow this path are known as redeemers. While Redeemers are idealists, they are no fools. Redeemers know that undead, demons, devils, and other supernatural threats can be inherently evil. Against such foes, Paladins who swear this oath bring the full wrath of their weapons and spells to bear. Yet the Redeemers still pray that, one day, even creatures of wickedness will invite their own redemption.
So it's Jesus Christ.
A little bit of Superman.
A little bit of Superman.
A little sprinkling of Superman. You know, this actually, when I was reading this, because I was skimming, I barely skimmed over the Oath of Conquest, obviously, but when I was skimming over this, this actually strikes me as very much like a monk subclass.
That's what I was thinking too.
Like, I am really surprised the monk didn't get anything like this. I mean, it don't get me wrong, it makes sense for a paladin to have this, but it just, like, seems very zen, you know?
Yeah. So the tenets.
All right. So the tenets of the Oath of Redemption hold a paladin to a high standard of peace and justice. Ooh. Peace. Violence is a weapon of last resort. Diplomacy and understanding are the paths to long-lasting peace. Innocence. All people begin life in an innocent state, and it is their environment or the influence of dark forces that drive them to evil. By setting the proper example and working to heal the wounds of a deeply flawed world, you can set anyone on a righteous path. Patience. Change takes time. Those who have walked the path of the wicked must give reminders to keep them honest and true. Once you have planted the seed of righteousness in a creature, you must work day after day to allow that seed to survive and flourish. And finally, wisdom. Your heart and mind must stay clear, for eventually you will be forced to admit defeat. While every creature can be redeemed, some are so far along the path of evil that you have no choice but to end their lives for the greater good. Any such action must be carefully weighed and the consequences fully understood. But once you have made a decision, follow through with it, knowing your path is just. No. I you know, the thing, it's weird because the Oath of Conquest I see as a cooler subclass of the two, but the Oath of Redemption I see as a or interesting one. Like, does that make sense?
As in, like, it's more complex in the way the way that they achieve things.
It's like the Oath of Devotion Paladin, but the oaths are cranked up to like 10, to where like you are like you have like you're not. It's not enough that you are good. You have to be like a beacon of hope,
right, in
a world of darkness kind of thing, and it's just. I can see this being really rewarding for certain players that, you know, that guy that wants to be like, hey, hold my tenets of my oaths against me so that way, should I break them, you know, I fall or what have you. And so if you were to do this, I can see this being very, very interesting. And I can see there being a lot of natural conflict coming in just from them because it's D&D.
Yeah.
You know, like, can you imagine an Oath of Redemption paladin being in, like, Curse of Strahd or something like that?
Jeez.
Yeah, like, it would have, like, a really, really hard time. Like, there'd be a lot of, like, inner conflict and stuff like that. And so, I mean, in a certain respect, I really like this subclass.
Well, let's get to the spells.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm waxing poetic over here.
Well, I mean, yeah, but let's I can see what you're talking about, but let's go over like why.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the third level you get Sanctuary and Sleep,
which makes sense.
Yeah, and then a fifth level you get Calm Emotions and Hold Person.
Again, makes sense.
Then ninth level you get Counterspell and Hypnotic Pattern. 13th level, you get Otulux, Resilient Sphere, and Stone Skin. What is? I don't think I've ever seen Otulux Sphere.
I think what that is, it's like an invincible sphere. Like no damage can come in and no damage can come out, as far as I can remember.
All right. And then at 17th level, you get Whole Monster and Wall of Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like kind of like the guy in between who's like, guys, let's not fight. It's not worth it. And then like they finally eventually he realizes that like fighting is the only way.
Have you ever tried debating with them? Maybe that. Okay, you fucking centrist.
But following the proper rules, not like yelling.
Guys, we can talk this out. All right. So Autoluke's resilient sphere is a sphere of shimmering force. Encloses a creature of large size or smaller. Unwilling creature must make a dexterity saving throw. Nothing, not physical objects, energy, or other spell effects, can pass through the barrier in or out through it. Though a creature in the sphere can breathe there. The sphere is immune to all damage, and a creature or object inside cannot be damaged or by attacks or effects originating from the outside, nor can a creature inside the sphere damage anything outside of it. So it's essentially time. It's you're putting someone in timeout. That's what that is.
Right.
So I could see a lot of this being used as a like this is for your own good kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, let me put the wall between you guys.
I mean, it's yelling. I mean, the really interesting thing about this is that a lot of these spells, they can stop a fight without there being bloodshed. Like, calm emotions. If they come across some like hostile people that aren't like evil, but like, maybe they've had like a few too many to drink or something. Hey, calm emotions. All right, they're fine now. Or sleep. Just hey. So. Yeah, absolutely no offensive spells, which I think is neat. Sorry.
It's for a certain kind of player. I think I will get bored with it really fast.
For like a campaign. I don't think I would be. I think this is like, to me, this seems like an extra challenge.
I want you to play this for Avernus.
For Avernus, no. But that's only because you told me to make a morally ambiguous character. So I'm like, okay. But I mean, for a normal like sword and board, sorcery campaign, probably. It would be and because like the whole idea is that like I have Divine Smite, but I can't use it. Like it's a last resort. It's a last resort. Like just try to talk this out. Like so. I mean, it would be very rewarding in a long roundabout way if like the oath or the Paladin or Redemption can like avoid conflict. So
right. Yeah. I mean, I can see how it can be interesting. I don't think it will work well with our group.
No, I don't. I mean, it
like
might,
even if like one of us tries to play it, I feel like our group.
It might or might not. I can understand like someone being like, "All right, dude, look, we can't talk to the fucking giant. We have to kill it." And you're just like, "But wait a minute, man. We just." I mean, yeah, there does come a point where you're just like, okay, let's just hit things. But and like I said, if our group was maybe 15%, like maybe not even that much, like maybe like 5-10% more role playing, I could see this being really rewarding. But yeah, no, you're right. I don't think in the long run, I don't think this would work out.
Right. Maybe for like a one-off, most definitely.
Not calling anyone out. I'm just saying like we have a pretty good dynamic, but it is very. Huh?
I was gonna say like for a one-off, like it. I was gonna say for a one-off. Okay. Can you hear
sorry, me? No, you cut out there again.
It doesn't matter. We'll end up with you saying and then okay. So now let's move on to Channel Divinity.
No, what happened? What happened there?
No, I was just gonna. I can't even remember what I was saying. It was just like a trailing off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, hold on.
So finally, we're gonna get to the Channel Divinity.
hold on. All right. So now let's okay. Fuck. Okay. Now let's move on to the Channel Divinities. Andrew.
Yes.
You're the boring one. You get to read these.
What? All right. Fine. All right. So at level 3, you get the Channel Divinities. The first one is Emissary of Peace. You can use your channel divinity to augment your presence with divine power. As a bonus action, as a bonus action, you grant yourself a +5 bonus to charisma persuasion checks for the next 10 minutes. Again, let's hash it out. I'm pretty sure we can find some even ground here. And then you also get rebuke the violent. You can use your channel divinity to rebuke those who are violent, or to those who use violence. Immediately after an attacker within 30 feet of you deals damage with an attack against a creature other than you, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the attacker takes radiant damage equal to the damage it just dealt. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage. Again,
it's kind of like, whoa, dude! I feel like there's been like a movie or a show with a character that's like, am I thinking of like, because like the more I go over these skills, I'm like, man, I'm pretty sure I've seen something like this in popular culture.
I'm pretty sure there is. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. I mean, because there's no such thing as an original idea. So, yeah. I do think it's interesting that this is the only class that doesn't get something that makes it like afraid. Like it doesn't have a fear, like sort of thing.
Right.
So, I think that's
here's an interesting one. At level 7, you get Aura of Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
You get to take damage for other people.
Yep. You can shield others from harm at the cost of your own health. When a creature within 10 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to magically take that damage instead of the creature taking damage.
I can only see this working like to protect like the wizard or the sorcerer, the squishy one. But even then, like,
well, I think this would work. This would probably work perfectly if you were a paladin. Hold on, let me face the mic towards me. That might help. This would probably work perfectly if you were like a paladin of like the deity Lathander, which is supposed to be the god of like suffering and resilience and stuff like that. So like this is the type of paladin that would probably like, I don't know, flagellate themselves for like, committing a sin or something like that, So I can see it. They're suffering so others don't have to. That being said, yeah, you're right. This would come in really handy if there was a wizard in the group and they started, taking some shots.
Yeah.
So
stay close to me.
Yeah, stay at least within 10 feet of me until I get to 18th level. Then you can kind of,
you can go up to 30.
Yeah. So.
And then at level 15?
I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, level 15 to get Protective Spirit.
Which is kind of cool, actually. Yeah. If your hit points are less than half, you regain 1d6 plus your half of your paladin level at the beginning of your turn.
Wow, that is pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you're careful, you
and
that mixed with every turn. Yeah.
If you end your turn in combat with fewer than half your hit points remaining. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that plus the Aura of the Guardian, which means if the guy's rolling low enough damage, you can just kind of just sit there. It just like the dude's like stabbing the wizard, but you're taking the hit for some reason.
Take me instead. And then at level 20, you get Emissary of Redemption.
Emissary of Redemption is by far the most interesting one to me.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. So at 20th level, you become an Avatar of Peace, which gives you 2 benefits. You have resistance to all damage dealt by other creatures. All damage, attacks, spells, what have you. Whenever a creature
and effects, it says there too.
Yeah, and other effects. Whenever a creature hits you with an attack, it takes radiant damage equal to half the damage you take from the attack. However, if you attack a creature, cast a spell on it, or deal damage by any means but this feature, neither benefit works against that creature until you finish a long rest.
Wait, what?
If you attack a creature, cast a spell on it, or deal damage to it by any means but this feature, neither benefit works against that creature until you finish a long rest.
So does that mean that like you hit it, or you hit it like 3-4 times, but you don't kill it, and then you go away, take a nap, and then in the middle of your nab, that creature takes the damage?
No, what that means is that while you're the emissary of redemption, while you're doing this thing, you can't attack.
Right.
You will still deal damage, but you personally cannot commit violence against that person.
Wow. What a candy.
I'm just I think that's neat. To me personally, that's
no, the concept is really cool. I just don't know who will have fun with that.
I would.
For like a maybe. I would love to see it in play.
I think this would be really interesting in play. Because I like I said, it kind of has like a baked in backstory, like you're on a path of redemption, so you must have done something pretty bad, and that kind of plays into the whole like why that paladin is totally okay with taking the blows for somebody else kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, yeah, it would. This I would not recommend this subclass for someone that is just starting to play a paladin. Obviously, like this is like the more advanced subclass, because whenever you think of paladin, you think of a guy with a bright shining sword, like cutting down foes left and right. Obviously the Oath of Redemption is not that, but the Oath of Redemption can be something for somebody that's looking for like a little bit more of a challenge, like something kind of like weirdly enough, something to spice it up. So
okay, I mean it's fine.
Yeah, it's just a completely, like I said, it's the Oath of Devotion taken to the extreme, and with that it comes with its own set of challenges and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's neat.
I mean, if anything, we learned that even though paladins are meant to be good and good aligned and lawful and all that stuff, the really fun ones are the nice, dark, evil ones.
The Oath of Vengeance was kind of...
Well, so I'm saying like Conquest and the Oathbreaker were the ones that got the most emotion out of us.
Well, I mean, there are still some cooler ones there.
I know. I'm just exaggerating.
Now, here's something I want to ask you. I know we're kind of running short on time, so I'm going to make this quick.
We ran short on time like 30
when
minutes.
I got the pizza.
Hey, what's up?
Anyways, so here's something I want to ask you. If you were running a game and someone was a paladin and they broke their oaths, would you allow them to pick up another oath in its stead if it like went with the story?
Yeah, why not?
Like the first thing that immediately like conjured up in my mind was that it's an Oath of Conquest paladin, and they're burning through enemy territory because slaying the heretics, blah, kind of a thing. And they come across a grove, and there's, like all of a sudden he's kind of swept in by the beauty of it, or she's like swept in by the beauty of it, and it's like, oh my god, I can't believe like this is the land that we're trying to conquer, and they break their oaths of conquest and they become like an oath of the ancients kind of a thing. Like I would be like, yes, please.
Yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't,
or I could see like an Oath of Redemption being like someone that was an oath breaker and they actually want to be like, they want to be redeemed. So it's like, okay, if you want your Oath of Devotion or something back, you gotta be Oath of Redemption first. Like, let's see you ride out a couple, right? Like, let's see you ride out a couple of levels of this first. And then if you can do that, then you get your Oath of Devotion back.
You gotta at least do 1 or 2 levels.
You have to at least be low. I need you to see. I need you to be at least level 5. And then we'll bring you up to the.
But I'm level 1 right now, man.
Hey, you shouldn't have fucked it. I'm just saying. Like, you didn't even get oaths yet, and you already broke it.
True.
I'm just saying. I think that would be really cool. Like a really interesting way to kind of play with the oaths and make like an arc.
Yeah.
Because it says it right there. You lose your benefits of this oath, but you gain the benefits of something else. So
yeah. I will definitely. I'm definitely like, if anybody plays a paladin for, I'm definitely keeping track of of your tenants. If you break them, you're gonna become an oath breaker. If you're like an oath breaker, you stick with it. If you don't, then I don't know if I want to make them go through the oath of redemption.
No. That's like something that's like if the player wants to do that. Like I would obviously talk to them about that.
If the player wants to do that, and aka if you want to do that, Andrew, for awareness. Yeah, I don't see why not. But I mean, other than that, I think I was just like, okay, well, I will have to make a side quest or something for them to redeem themselves or whatever, and then they'll pick whatever they want to pick. Obviously, I'll tailor the side quest to whatever oath they want to.
I mean, I can still see it being something like you are an oath of devotion, so you're like, peace and justice and everything good, and apple pie in the American way kind of a thing, and things start to go sideways, and like next thing you know, like you're a little bit cynical, like you're still good, but you're kind of bitter.
Yeah,
and you might slip into an oath of vengeance, kind of a situation. So like. I don't know. I think it's really neat that the Paladin has a sort of like, take out this oath, put this oath in its stead kind of a, mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still like Paladins because of that. Like you have to, well, you don't have to, but like it gives you a more structured way of how to roleplay your character. And, I mean, you're a spellcaster, you get to hit things. And then with the new Sanitar's additions, oof.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, a lot of people were saying, oh, Conquest can be like super evil, but it's like, not really. You still have to abide by the rule of law. And it says like, hold on. It says that like you have to like answer to somebody, doesn't it? Hold on.
Actually, I don't think it does.
Oh no, you shall rule until a stronger one arises, then you must grow mightier and meet the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the moment you become subjugated, your oaths are broken. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry.
No, I was agreeing with you 100%.
I'm just saying, if I was playing a Paladin, I would want you to hold these tenets like to me.
I will make a cheat sheet and just have it like by my computer screen the whole time.
Yeah, and I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, as being the only class that can lose its ability from straying, quote unquote, during role playing or whatnot, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, that could be incredibly interesting, especially happens at the worst possible time. So, yeah. No, for that reason, I really love Paladins. So,
same.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I hope you guys had a good time listening to us babble about the Paladins. And get a little insight on why we like them so much. For my players, if you want to play a Conquest, go for it.
The Redemption, be a good guy.
Oh yeah, no. Don't be that. No, the Redemption sucks. Don't do that.
No, it does not. Does not.
Yeah, but thank you guys for joining us. We played almost every Wednesday. I mean, pretty much every Wednesday, unless something bad happens or on Twitch.
We are currently rolling through the Amber Temple, and Vesemir may or may not kill the group next session.
Vesemir may or may not take over. Yeah, at the end of the pain.
Yeah, either he might kill the group by his own hands or just by stumbling through the temple. We might never know. All we know is he might be the only one that might be coming out of it alive. So
yeah, just make sure you join us so you can find out. We also do in the bi-weekly episodes. We got back to that schedule because the next few episodes are going to get pretty long. We might split them in part 1 and part 2. We'll see.
The fighter, I can see that being just one like kind of meaty episode. Wizard, depending on how long we're going to take, that might be a 2-parter. Cleric will definitely have to be a 2-parter.
Oh yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening, and make sure to rate us and leave a comment on whatever platform you're using. And
leave us some constructive criticism, and just so you know, I might or might not cry if you tell me something bad, but that's okay.
It cries a lot.
I cry a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining us. You guys have a good rest of your week. Stay safe out there. I know a lot of states are reopening right now.
Yeah, wash your hands. Avoid public places. Don't go to a fucking theme park. Jesus.
Go to the theme park. I'm gonna go as soon as it opens.
God, so we had to go into town today to pick up some stuff, and we went by the mall, and there were so many people there.
Gross.
Because they just reopened, and I was like, ugh.
Well, stay safe out there. Use your mask. There's been a lot more cases, even though we're reopening. But that's America for you. We gotta get political here, guys. No, this is about gaming. You guys have a good rest of your. Make sure you stick with your groups. Game except for Wednesdays. Don't go on Roll20 on Wednesdays. We need it for. We need the bandwidth for our sessions.
I don't know what the deal with Roll20 was last time, man. That was like some weird voodoo crap happening.
Yes, it was. All right, you guys have a good rest of your week. You'll have keep on gaming. Bye.
Yeah.